Hey, friend, welcome to the podcast. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how to build your thought leadership and one of the mistakes that I see people make really frequently. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You have spent a lot of time working on a social post. You put it up and it literally falls flat. Or maybe you've been posting like crazy, sharing your thought leadership and your ideas, but you're really not gaining any traction. Now, if any of this sounds familiar, you are certainly not alone. So today I want to share something that I have found works really well for me. It's worked well for people that I've recommended it to, and it might work well for you too. So I'm Laura Cox Kaplan. This is She Said podcast, where I'm sharing stories and tools to help you build meaningful influence across every season of your life and career. Here is the shift that really makes a big difference as it relates to thought leadership I have found. And it's this: start with reader first. What I mean by that is lead with what changes for her this week, then sharing your news, your story, and your take. And let me show you what I mean by that. Most of us, myself included, we tend to start with, I'm excited to, or I believe, or we just, or I just won, or I was just elected to, or whatever. And that's natural and that's great. And there's really nothing wrong with that. You're living your story from the inside. But here's what's important to remember. The person who is scrolling through LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever is looking at your post and consciously or potentially unconsciously asking herself, is this for me? Now, if the first lines in your post answer that, you'll probably earn the next few seconds of her attention. And her attention, those next few seconds, is actually where you begin to build trust that in turn will compound your influence. So, how do we make that kind of transition or shift feel natural? Here's what I like to do. I like to picture the person that I want to help. Not a demographic, but an actual person. I think about her opening up her laptop between meetings. Maybe she has 5 minutes to look at her social media. She's like the person who her to-do list goes on for pages and pages. She's probably you. What can I say in the first few lines of a post that actually help her breathe out and think, okay, this might really help? Or, okay, this post makes me feel really seen. Now, here's an example. Instead of saying, I'm speaking at a Women in Tech Summit, try shifting that into a question. Say something like, leading through rapid change, here's a 15-minute playbook to reduce whiplash, even if you're not at the summit. You see the difference? It's the same reality, but it's a different center of gravity. One version announces you. The other version actually serves your reader or your audience, and then it invites your audience member to come closer. But it also keeps you and your thought leadership in that conversation. The other thing to remember here is that not all posts should be the same. Not all posts should try to ask a question. Some should be oriented toward you. The trick is to actually strike that right balance. And to do that, I have a framework that I like to recommend, which follows a rhythm. It's called Hook, Help, Human, or HHH for short. Now let's start with hook. Start in your reader's world because you want to hook her. So start with a scenario that your reader will relate to right away. Maybe something like, ever find yourself struggling with maybe what to post on social media? Then offer one useful thing that she can try this week. That's your help, right? Then add a quick beat of story or proof so that it feels real, and that's your human. You can move those pieces around, but when all three of them show up, hook, help, and human, your ideas tend to become more compelling with consistency to your reader. Let's walk through a few examples together because I think examples make this easier to understand. Maybe you want to share a belief, something like purpose is everything. Now, obviously, that's true, but it's also pretty abstract. So a reader first post might sound something more like, if last year's goal feels too small, you haven't lost your purpose, maybe it's evolved. And then add, you could try a 5-minute check. Ask yourself, what energizes you now? Where are people already asking for help? What result could you deliver in 1 week? You see the difference? That gets the point across that purpose is important, but you're also sharing a hook, you're sharing help, and you're sharing that human connection. What you're trying to post is something about a team win, something that you and your team are particularly proud of. Instead of saying, I'm proud that my team hit 150%, you might try something like, if your quarter feels wobbly, this simple cadence took my team to 150%, and then share what it was that actually helped you get there. You still celebrate, you still honoring your team and your win, but you're also sharing something of real value with the reader, and you're also creating more of a connection. Or maybe you want to post something that's an announcement. Maybe it's a launch or a talk or a new role. Again, it's really important to bring value to line 1. What is the problem that this launch, talk, or new role might help your reader to solve? When we orient ourselves that way, it just helps us bring the reader in much faster and hopefully develop a tighter connection as well. Now, if all of this feels good to you, but maybe you're wondering how to keep it going without burning out, here's a really simple way to think about how you might structure an entire month. Imagine your posts like a playlist, not a single track. Most weeks, share something that is immediately useful, a checklist, a reframe, maybe a piece of advice, something like that. Then sprinkle in short stories and maybe a thoughtful question or two that help people know you and know how you think. And then when you have a win or an announcement, share it, but try to tie it back into how it helps the reader. Another tip that I find really helpful is that before you hit send, try a 20-second gut check and ask yourself these 3 questions. Ask, so what? Maybe what changes for your reader this week after she's read your post? Now what? What's the smallest step that she might take in under 5 minutes? And then why you? Maybe one line of proof that this isn't theory. And once you've answered those questions or at least thought about them, you're probably ready. If you find yourself hitting a lull, because let's face it, we all do, don't overcorrect. Usually the fix is simple. Maybe bring the promise to line 1 or swap out fancy words for stronger verbs, make the ask maybe small, and then add one quick proof point. Reader first is not about perfection. It's about respect. And it says, I see you, the reader. I value your time. And here is something that I can give you that might actually help. Now, zooming out, this approach isn't just about better posts. It's actually about how we show up on social media. When you serve first, your credibility tends to grow more naturally. People save your work, they share it, they maybe try it, and hopefully they come back for more. That's the kind of influence that lasts, and it starts with one decision at the top of your next post to make it about them, about your reader. Okay, friend, if this was useful, please share it with others who are building their voices and their thought leadership on LinkedIn or other social media platforms. I've included a simple reader first checklist in the show notes so you can keep this close the next time you're staring at a blank cursor. I'm Laura Cox Kaplan. Thanks for listening to She Said podcast. It's a weekly production of She Said Media. I'll see you next week.